From New Brunswick, I went to Prince Edward Island, crossing the Confederation Bridge. This had been a dream of mine for a long time because when I was a kid I saw it on the Discovery Channel. On the New Brunswick side there's a wildlife area and an interpretive center, as well as a short trail to a lighthouse which has a pretty cool view of the bridge as well. My first beach was Victoria, and the tide had gone way out. There was a lot of red sand and quite a lot of wildlife too. Saw a lot of hermit crabs, some bigger crabs, and some starfish too. Was hoping to camp here tonight, but it's right behind me. There's a full-on house that can see the whole parking lot for the beach, so I don't think I'm gonna stay here. Oh well. I have one contingency. That the next contingency I'm gonna check out is a lighthouse, and there's a lot of, on the iOverland app, there's a lot of reviews for it, and then if that fails there's a Walmart parking lot in Charlotte. I think when you're doing camping like this, you always have to, every night I've got an ideal spot that I'm planning on staying, and then I have one or two contingencies, and I think that's just part of the free camping, is you have to have one or two contingencies in case they don't work out. Alright, hopefully the wind's not too bad. I found my spot. There is an RV, a Sprinter, and one other car here, so it is as popular as the iOverland site. Number of reviews on the iOverland site suggest that it would be, but it's a great site. It's good. Alright, it's another day. Yesterday was terrible. I think I gave myself food poisoning for the second time in probably about a week. Less than a week. Second time in probably in 5 days. So yesterday I went into Charlottetown and really did nothing. I went to the library and posted a blog, and that was about it. That took about the whole day. Recharged my Jackery battery, but felt like complete shit all day. Barely ate anything, and in the end just didn't do a whole lot of touring, and came back to the same campsite because there was a place I knew that would be quiet and I wouldn't have to worry about anyone knocking on the window or anything like that. So today we're gonna try and tour the east coast of PEI. So I drove on and eventually reached Point Prim, which has the oldest lighthouse in PEI. For a few bucks you can go inside and climb to the top. I guess this is the the lantern. It's pretty cool because you can see how it focuses a single light source into like a linear beam. Down the road was the bottle village. Some guy in his backyard has just built a whole bunch of buildings with bottles in the walls out of mud, and has opened it up as a tourist attraction, and by donation all the proceeds go to a local hospital, so that's pretty cool too. That's so cool. These cars are made out of glass. So cool. Oh, there's trains too. And a cannon. Mm-hmm. Fish. They made trees out of wine bottles, and there's a forest. It's pretty cool. This was probably my favorite beach of the whole island. It's called Stewart Point, and it's not very well known. It's just down a dirt road with a little parking area, but there was barely anyone there. I only saw 4 other people, but the tide went way out, and it was a nice soft red sand where I could play and make a mound, and it was just very scenic. That night I camped at Murray Heads, which is another popular place to camp for overlanders, and for locals to come and see the cliffs. The next day I went to Panmure Island Provincial Park and had a nice walk on the beach. There's so many provincial parks on the island and so many beaches to go to, especially on the east coast, that I really don't know how you would pick one beach over another, other than, for me, I pick the ones that are the least busiest and have the fewest people. But the provincial parks get a lot of families with children, and a lot of RVs and campers that I think just park there for like a week at a time. Basin Head Provincial Park might be one of the more popular ones, and it's cool because it has a bridge that you can jump off of, but I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't do it. Just down the road, though, on another unmarked side path, is Singing Sands Beach, and as you walk on the sand, it makes these squishing sounds, and that's because it has a high silica content. Next up was Egmont Lighthouse, another lighthouse that you can go into the top. I just realized that this lighthouse is wood. The last one was brick. This one has the walls of wood, which is pretty cool. I came across North Lake Harbor and I got really excited because there was a lot of colorful fishing shacks, and as far as I understand, this is one of the larger fishing communities. The marina there has a lot of fishing boats, and it was a really interesting place to walk around because there was lots of architectural opportunities to take pictures of these scattered fishing shacks that aren't in a regular grid, and so they have a great depth to them. That's to say that there's like buildings behind buildings that poke out, and so you can see that the community is larger than just one row of houses or shacks. Welcome to the lake. We are a small drinking village with a fishing problem. It started storming and raining, so I headed towards PEI National Park to camp. I feel much better today. Had a good sleep. Also realized camping in like a national park campground, don't have to worry about bugs, which is really nice. So the weather's also nicer in the morning today. I feel like, generally speaking, the last few days, the weather's been pretty good in the morning and then has turned worse in the afternoon. So it's almost 9 and just having breakfast, and then I'm gonna have a shower because you can't have too many showers when you're camping, and then head out and see a bit of the national park. Gonna go out to the water to get a picture. Oh, it's actually kind of deeper than I thought. Up to the knees. Oh, there we go. Oh, sinking in the sand. Okay, that's pretty. See if I can get some photos of it. Well, this is super cool. I got some good photos, and I'm going to continue on while the sun and the waves are, the weather's still good, and see what other photos I can get further down the coast. The national park's pretty good for having a scenic drive. It's also got a bike path on the left side that you can see there. If you had a bike, it'd be a really nice place to bike, but even with a car, it's just very scenic to drive through and stop every now and again at a pull-out to take some photos. I tried to have lunch at this beach called Thunder Cove, but it was inundated with tourists. It was kind of stupid how many tourists were parked along the gravel road going in, and I don't think the locals like it because what was probably once a nice beach is now just completely ruined by so many people. I decided the central area was too busy, and my car got hit by a giant rock off a dump truck that I almost lost the windshield, so I decided to go to the North Cape, and there wasn't much there except for a big wind farm. Unfortunately, the visitor center was closed. I'm actually really disappointed that the interpretive center is closed because it'd be cool to learn about the wind turbines and see more about them. Well, somewhat unexpectedly, I am now at West Point. The drive down the west side of the North Cape along Route 14 was actually fairly interesting. It was a nice drive. There were no pull-outs, even though there were some nice views. There was no pull-outs and barely any points of interest. So that kind of sucked, but it was much better than going up to North Point. Oh, damn! That's beautiful. Wow, what a way to end PEI. Holy damn. The last place I camped was Egmont Lighthouse, and it was without a doubt the most scenic. And this is probably because it was sunset and I got some absolutely fantastic photos. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This really helps me grow my channel. Thanks.